Hey, everybody. I think we've all at some point in our lives had a promise made to us where we get our expectations high and we're ready for that promise to be kept. And then once it's received, we're disappointed. And there's no case bigger than in video games where we're promised all these incredible, amazing things that we're going to get to play and experience only to be let down when they actually arrive. So, today, what we're going to talk about is some of those games and when they released, the disappointment that came with them, and some of them that actually affected the studios that released them. So sit back and enjoy, and I promise if you like and subscribe and do all that stuff, I'll actually keep making fun stuff like this. I promise. All right, so the first game we're going to talk about, I think this is one that everybody may know about, but according to my analytics, most of us were not alive when this happened. But we're going to talk about E.T. the Extraterrestrial. A very old game came out on the Atari, but was the first example of something coming out and being so disappointing that in this case, it almost ruined gaming as a whole. That's right, this game almost crashed the video game market with how bad it was. Upon release, people were excited. The movie E.T. was a huge hit. Everybody thought, oh, an E.T. video game, it's got to be great, right? Well, it was disappointing. I don't know if you've ever played this game. I played it many, many years ago just to see if it was as bad as people said it was, and oh my god, was it. It is garbage. It is hot garbage, and there's no wonder that it just kind of ruined everything. It brought video games to the brink of almost not existing. Like, we might not be playing video games today if this had happened a little bit stronger than it did. This game was so bad, and they made so many copies because they thought that they were going to sell so many of them that it was so bad that they ended up having to dump all of these game cartridges in a landfill and cover them up just to not be seen or sold on shelves ever again. And about a decade ago, the Angry Video Game Nerd, I'm sure you know him, he made his own movie, and it was about them trying to find the ET cartridges, and it's absurd. It's a great movie, but it turns out, in fact, that they were found at one point. This was years ago, but they did find all these old ET cartridges, which I think is just crazy. That we find it's like digging up a fossil, but we know what the whole story is. So it's crazy and just one of the biggest disappointments in video games. Up next, I think we have one that everybody will know about, and that is No Man's Sky. This was supposed to be groundbreaking video gaming in the sense that you could just travel to the stars and like go to all these different planets, and everything was randomly generated, and everything was a new experience. It didn't matter when you played or how you played; you were always experiencing something different every time you landed on a planet or you flew out in the solar system. Those were all promises by this guy, by the way. Look at this guy. He was lying to our faces at first. This was made by a small development studio, and that was hailed as the next big thing. And when it came out, it just kind of fell flat. Planets were repetitive. They held no life. Like, you'd land on a planet and there was like nothing there. There was nothing to do. You just kind of do the same tasks over and over. It was very repetitive and just kind of boring. And it looked bad for them. They did not fare well from critics and the audience of gamers alike because it was not what they had promised. They had given us all these promises and none of them were met really. I am happy to say that since then, since the just terrible launch of this game, they have since gone back and completely overhauled this game and made it something worth playing, I think. So if you haven't played No Man's Sky, maybe give it a try because nowadays it is more a realization of what they wanted to do from the outset that they didn't do when it first came out. So good on them for going back and fixing, the problems that were there from, what they promised to what they delivered and realizing what they promised was not what they delivered. All right, this next game, I'm going to talk about it for the amount of time that it was actually interesting to play, and that's Anthem, a game that had all this hype and all this excitement around it, only to fall flat because it was boring, uninteresting, and repetitive. I'd kind of thought of it as Destiny. That's another one. I won't get into Destiny, but it's just very repetitive. Same thing over and over. There was no life to it, really. So Anthem just shit the bed and was done within an instant, and nobody plays anymore. It's one of those games I feel like you can find for like $1 at a Dollar Tree or something. Like, no one plays it anymore. All right, another big one for me. I was actually excited about this one. That's Mighty Number 9. It was from the guy that originally did the Mega Man games, and I was super excited to play it because it's supposed to be the spiritual successor to Mega Man. And what it was uninteresting platforming garbage. It just was not fun. It was very simplistic. It didn't have that charm that Mega Man games have. And unfortunately, the audience felt the same way that I did. It was a Kickstarter backed game, which means people gave their money to help get this game made. So imagine spending your own money before the game even comes out and going like, I'm excited to play this game. And then you get your hands on it and you're like, this is nothing like I expected. I had these hopes of it being the next fresh, like, Mega Man style game, and what I got was something uninspired, just kind of run of the mill, same old stuff when it comes to these styles of games. So it was very disappointing, and people gave their money to do it. So you can understand the disappointment there. I had to put a Bethesda game on this list, and that is Fallout 76. I think I'm not in the minority by saying that this was an utter disappointment when it came out. People had been excited for more Fallout. Fallout 4 had been a big hit. I enjoyed Fallout 4. So to see this game come out and just be severely disappointed in the fact that it is online multiplayer, full of microtransactions, and overall just uninspired and not fun was super disappointing. They had promised a new Fallout game and all this exciting stuff and being able to play with your friends, only to release this, which is just a load of hot garbage. This is the final one. I was waiting for this one because this one, for me and my experience with gaming over the years, this is the one I know the best, and that is Duke Nukem. This game was stuck in limbo in development hell for 10 years. I remember seeing it come out, or seeing stuff come out about it and saying, like, the new Duke Nukem game's coming out, and people love Duke Nukem. It's a good first-person shooter franchise. A little bit immature in some ways, but it is what it is. It's still a very fun series to play through. I remember playing some of them when I was a kid. So I was a little excited about this. I was still making money from my parents doing chores and stuff when this started, so I didn't really plan on buying it. But I just remember hearing about it, and then nothing. Nothing. You would hear about it occasionally, but over 10 years it was just stuck. It wouldn't get released. So when it finally did get released, this promise of a brand new, fresh-looking Duke Nukem game was met with something that looked like it was made 10 years ago, but then just sat on a shelf somewhere until they were ready to release it. It's outdated, it's clunky, it looks terrible, it's even more childish than the other ones are, to where it kind of loses that charm of being a little immature that some Duke Nukem games have. And it just was a huge disappointment. There's even a picture, I'll see if I can find it, of the guy that he pre-ordered the game and then had to wait 10 years to get it. I can only imagine that disappointment of spending money. I guess technically with inflation, he saved money by buying it, pre-ordering it back then. Anyways, it's just funny that it took so long for something to be released. There were all these promises made, and then it was just this. But you can pee. You can use the control sticks to pee. That's pretty cool, I guess. All right, so that's my list of some games that promised a lot and delivered a little. If you have some that you think promised a lot and delivered a little, let me know down below. I love interacting and finding out what you guys think compared to the items that I mentioned. So let me know down below what you think. Did you ever feel like you were promised something in a video game, and then when you actually received it, it was super disappointing? I'm sure you do. So let me know down below. Thank you for watching. I love what I say this every time I finish one of these, but I love making these videos. We're almost at a year of daily uploads. It will be next week, so I'm excited about that. Got a little something special planned, maybe. But if you want to watch more videos like this, check right here. I've got some. You can check them out. They're lots of fun to make. I make them once a week, and daily gaming videos Sunday through Friday. So I hope you enjoy. Remember to like and subscribe. All that good stuff. I love you. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.